Welcome back to Melmac Art. My name is Mickey. Inktober is coming soon, so I thought I'd break out my inks and see what I have and kind of dust them off and maybe get inspired by something that I see. And so I'm kind of poking through what I have. And last year or the year before, I bought, there was a sale on these Sennelier inks. So those 4 Sennelier ones I got all at once. And then I have this Winsor & Newton and a Sumi ink and India ink, sorry. And I broke out my ink brush and my nib holders. I have 2, and these are the nibs. I have a few assorted in there. I think they're all the same point, and so I kind of like, I'm grabbing a new one. And this is how it goes when you put it in. You just pop it right in, and you're ready to go. So now that I have everything, I'm trying to think of ideas I can do with them. But first, when you break a container like I have, it's good to have one of these little containers on hand that have the actual rubber gasket around it so you can keep your inks in it. That's what I did with the other bottle. It kind of broke on me. So I put it in that particular container and it works great. Or you can buy a very fancy little ink holder from Kay Jody. I'll put her link below. But these little ink pots, she did handmade and fired them and corked the lid. And they fit nice and snug. And I haven't put any ink in it because I kind of feel like I just don't want to destroy it. I really like it. And today I'm kind of working on a... I don't know at this point. So at this point I'm sort of trying to find what I want to paint on. And I've found this cotton 600-pound piece of watercolor cold pressed piece of paper. And I was like, you know what, this would be perfect for just kind of doing experiments on. And somewhere in here, yeah, I bonked the video, sorry. Not video, but my phone. So we're going to tape it up and sort of do some experiments. So I decided to go ahead and wet the surface first. So I'm misting it with just some regular water. I use tap water, and some people use distilled, or they're really careful about the water they use, but our tap water here in the Northeast America is pretty clean. And this is a, I can't remember what it's called, but it's a very wide brush. So I'm distributing the water over the watercolor paper, and it works great. So if you ever tend to see any of these brushes, they're great. Grab one. And I have a little piece of, I don't know, I think it's a cat hair right in the dead center of this piece of paper. Wouldn't you just figure? And I'm trying to wipe it out, but it is not moving. And my worst mistake was to try to move it with this nib, because I'm actually scratching the surface of the paper when I'm doing it. And you'll see why later, why that was such a mistake. I should have just left it. Oh well. But any brush will do, so that's why I was showing you the brush. So at this point I'm just going to go ahead and throw some ink on the paper. After wetting it, the ink should run down the paper. And the Sennelier paint ink is sort of like a thicker consistency. It's not really runny. It's kind of a little bit syrupy, kind of like a maple syrup. I don't know if you guys know what that consistency is, but it's It's watery, but it still has a little bit of thickness to it. And with the 4 colors that I have, I just decided to use all 4 and kind of dot them around the paper. And now that I'm looking at this color combination, I'm sort of getting ideas, and I'm sort of forging ahead. This indigo was hard to open, but upon opening it and trying it on the piece of paper, I was confused because I thought I'd just used the indigo, but the indigo is more of a blue, and the what I thought was indigo, what that's already on there, is a gray, and it comes off really kind of like a Payne's gray, like a blue gray. And I'm kind of scared at this point because it's really sort of sticking and blotted and not really moving at all, so I'm misting it with more water and filling more holes. And now it's really running over the paper, so it definitely needs to be misted again with water. And I'm rolling up a piece of old paper towel and putting it at the bottom so all the runoff gets soaked up by that piece of paper. And I'm sorry you can't see that, but it's a really good idea to have that beforehand. So here we are wetting it, and here we are going into time lapse. And I'm trying to achieve this sort of liney look. And now that I have that, I've decided it kind of looks like a wood, like a rainbow woods. So I turned the paper upside down, and I'm using the nib to draw out like a little cabiny kind of house, and with a little path. And it doesn't really look like much right now, but it sort of seems to develop as we go along. And sometimes it's good just to grab your art supplies and experiment and see what you come up with. Because I was actually really pleased with this at the end. I really enjoyed seeing it unfold for myself. And now that I'm sort of leaving some of that blue in there, it kind of looks like trees in the foreground. So I was thinking this would be a really good idea for Inktober. So thanks for joining me. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.